Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how I recreated this 104 pounds outfit for less. If you want to make one for yourself, please keep watching. The first thing I'll do is get my starting line, which is also my shoulder line. Now from my shoulder line, I'll mark out my bust line, my under bust, and I'll mark out the length of my top. I'll be using 27 inches. So I'm just going to put the same figure on the other side and connect the lines. I'll mark out 2.5 inches at the center front here for my button allowance. So starting from the center line, I'm using 3 inches for my neck width and neck depth, and I'll also mark out my shoulder measurement. And from that point, I'll come down by 1 inch and I'll just connect these points together. I'm going to extend this line here by 5 inches. Now from this point, that's where I'm going to put down my 5-inch extension. I'm going to measure what I have from this point to the center line, and I'll put the same figure on my bust line. On my bust line, I'll come down by 1 inch. I'll mark out my bust circumference divided by 4, and from that point, I'll add 4 inches for ease. I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance, and from that point, I'll come down by 1 inch again. Now, I'll find the center of this point and create my new arm curve. On my bust line, I'll measure what I have and I'll put the same figure on the length of my top. At this point here, I forgot that I had already added my sewing allowance and I was adding sewing allowance again, but I ended up taking it out. So please just ignore this part. The next thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want my elastic to stop. So I'll just go up from the length of the top by 5 inches. Now I'm going to take the neck depth for the back of the top and I'll be coming down from the shoulder line by 1 inch. So the first thing I'll do is fold in my pattern like this and I'll cut this out on my fabric for the back, and then for the front I'll just open it up and cut out my neckline, and that's it. To get my sleeve, I'll trace out my armhole from my front pattern on a new piece of paper. The length of my sleeve is 8 inches. If you want yours longer, you can go ahead and increase the length. And I'm adding 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Now from the very top of the paper, I have about 9.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark that all the way through. Moving on to the shorts pattern, I'll begin by getting my starting line, and this is going to serve as my waistline. From the center front of the paper, I'm going to go in by 6 inches and I'll draw a straight line. This line is going to be my center front line. So from the waistline, I'll impute my crotch line and I'll put the same measurement on the other side and connect. From the crotch line, I'll come down by 4 inches and this will be the length of my shorts. I'll also use half an inch for sewing allowance. On the crotch line, I'm going to impute my hip circumference divided by 4 and I'll put the same figure on my waistline and connect. Now I'm going to impute my crotch extension and I'll go up from this line by 3 inches and I'll create my curve. On the length of my shorts, I'll impute my thigh circumference divided by 2. Above my waistline here, I'm just making sure I have about 1 inch, and this is going to serve as a casing for my elastic band. Taking a fresh piece of paper, I'm going to draft out the back of my shorts. On the crotch line, I'll come out by 2 inches and go down from that point by half an inch. Using the same crotch curve and the waistline as the front pattern, I'm going to create my back crotch curve. This is the front of my top, and I'll transfer the markings of where I want my elastic to start and stop. On my shorts, I'll hem the bottom and create a casing on the waistline, and I'll also close up my crotch area. So after that is done, this is what it should look like. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll start shirring these shorts. I'm done shirring my front shorts and the back shorts. So the next thing I'm going to do is join this together and sew up the crotch area. Next, I'm going to attach my elastic band through the casing that I made on the waist area, and afterwards I'll sew up my side seams. Now for the front of the top, the first thing I'll do is close up the button allowance, and afterwards I'll begin shirring between the 2 lines that I created. After shirring, this is what I have. This is what the top is looking like. The next thing I'm going to do is join the front piece and the back piece together along the shoulder. After joining the shoulders together, I'll attach my sleeves. Now I'll hem the bottom of my top. For my collar, I'm going to measure what I have here, and I have about 19 inches. So that is what I'm going to use to create my collar. To create my collar, I'll fold in my paper into 2 and I'll get a starting line. On this starting line, I'm going to divide that 19 inches by 2 and I have 9.5, and I'll go up by 1.5 inches for my collar stand. From this edge here, I'll go up by half an inch and find the center point of this 9.5 line, and I'll connect those 2 points together. For my collar, I'll be using 4 inches, so from this line here, I'll mark 4 inches all round. The 9.5 that I have here, I'll put it back on this line. At the center here, I'll come down by 1 inch and connect it to the side. I'll go in on this corner by 1 inch. Now I'll add half an inch all round for sewing allowance. I'll go ahead and cut this out and attach it to my top. After I attach my collar, the final thing I'm going to do is sew in buttons, and I'm creating false buttons in front of the top, so there's no need for a buttonhole. And that is it, guys. This is the final look. It's super easy to make and so comfortable. I'm literally obsessed with this two-piece. So I hope yours come out looking like this. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.